been in one of our sales training, coaching, or business development consulting programs here at Select Advisors Institute, you'll know that one of the first things we will facilitate within your CEO, all the way down to anyone who will be involved in the business development process, is the Select Advisors Rainmaker Test. The Rainmaker Test sets the playing field for us to be able to see, does your team even have some of the personality traits that are required, essential to do well at sales? And if they have part of it or a lot of it, how could we maximize that? If they're anywhere over 60%, there's room for growth. If someone's at 90% around those, we've got some master salespeople. And if someone's way below that in the 40 to 50%, are they even in the right role to be considered for business development? Or are you just hitting your head over the wall because this person will most likely not be able to change their stripes? So on today's session, I'm going to cover 3 of the essential traits that we have within the Rainmaker Test that I look for within your teammates to be able to see how much room is there for growth. Are there some maybe magical people within your team that we're underestimating? And are there people within the team who are really maybe showing off that they will be great at sales, but they're really not going to go far with where they are? Now, this is an amazing test to set the benchmark. But again, within our programs, we get to meet the people as well and understand what's the background behind the test. So let's cover the 3 essential traits. And then if you'd like to learn more about the other parts of the test, just use the link below. And I ask that if you could please subscribe, we'll be able to send you more of these videos in the future. So let's get started. So let's first start with one of the top essential traits I look for using the Rainmaker Test to see where you currently are within sales and business development. And that trait is what we call enthusiasm. If you've looked at anyone who's been great at sales, who's been great at building a business, building revenue, building an entire team, you'll notice that they're very enthusiastic about what they're doing. They wake up without needing an alarm. They're working around the clock because they want to, because they're so enthusiastic about what they do. If you have people within your team who have a high enthusiasm, and you could score those within this test, what we want to do is make sure you're bottling that enthusiasm. You're not letting it go to waste. I remember a few years ago, I used to work at a company and I had this amazing idea that I want to hold an event for the women clients we had. The firm loved the idea, but instead of letting me run with it or helping me get the praise or praise and recognition, what they did was they created this gigantic steering committee, threw me out into the playing fields and started running with it. Well, guess what happened? I stopped giving any further ideas for any future events or any future different types of ways that we could touch our clients back. So if you have individuals within your team who are constantly coming up with great ideas because they are enthusiastic and passionate, make sure you find different ways of giving them recognition, even if you need to put guardrails around this teammate. Even if you need to add some bureaucracy or some legal constraints, make sure you don't let them dampen their enthusiasm and no longer want to contribute. There are so many team sales meetings I joined. There are a few people who are constantly speaking up, but if they notice that no one else is speaking up, they're going to stop trying. And that's the worst thing you could do to a great salesperson or someone who doesn't know they're a great salesperson, but they've got the enthusiasm, is to silence them. So if you have someone enthusiastic on your team, please find ways to give them recognition, find ways to help them not be seen as a lone wolf, and not to make them feel like a loner for that level of enthusiasm, because you've got a great catch and we want to make sure you're maximizing it. The second essential trait I look for in a great salesperson, or maybe someone who doesn't know they're a great salesperson, but they've got massive potential, is someone who is cause motivated. Some of the top salespeople that I've worked with, or the top producers within organizations, aren't necessarily an introvert or an extrovert, but they're cause motivated. They're doing this because they have a massive why. They're constantly working towards their why. I think Jeff Bezos said it best when he said you could either have a job or a career, or you could have a calling. A person who's really great at sales is able to showcase that what they're selling is their calling, even if they go on to have another calling. So, what we try to do within that Rainmaker test is to see if someone is highly cause motivated. And if they are, work with the organization to be able to find different ways to give back their cause motivation. So if someone is very charitably inclined, the revenue that they are able to source and generate for the firm with their help, with the advisor's help, contributes part of that to a charity of their choice. Or if they want to give back to their team, contribute some of that back to the receptionist or the client service manager. So there are different ways to get creative around someone who's cause motivated. And the third trait I look for in someone who has the high potential of being a great salesperson within your team, or is already a great salesperson, but they may not know it, is someone who wants self improvement. And you could actually, again, test around that using the Rainmaker test. Someone who wants self improvement is constantly reading self help books, is constantly looking for better ways of becoming good at sales. Even if they're amazing at sales, they're seeking coaching, they're seeking training, they're watching YouTube videos to become better, just like you are right now. If you've got people like that on your team, they're going to come to the coaching sessions with us or with another sales coach with a list of questions. They're not going to sit there waiting for that silver bullet to be put in front of them. If someone on your team has a low self improvement, they are most likely not going to be great at sales, because no matter how much you try to teach them, they are not going to want to learn. Now, again, these are just 3 of the 12 or so essential traits we have. So just because someone's low on these doesn't mean that they may not be super high on the other. And our work at Select Advisors is to be able to average it out. So this person basically scores somewhere in the 80-90%, which is the right place to be if you want to be really great at sales. So if you want to embark on this sales training program, sales coaching, and you want to first start off with taking this Rainmaker test for yourself or within your team, click the link below.